How happy would you be if you never had to pay for gas or groceries ever again? Here's your chance. 2 winners each will receive free gas and groceries for a lifetime in the Gas and Groceries for Life raffle, presented by Thomas J. Henry. Free gas, free groceries, 2 winners. All net proceeds benefit elementary school children and local food banks. So get rolling, hit the gas, and purchase your raffle tickets at gasandgroceriesforlife.com today.
Because today, Pickle, is a very special Tuesday because it's Valentine's Day. But
more importantly,
every Tuesday is special because it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. And on this segment, we like to dive into the numbers, something having to do with football across the state of Texas. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about defense. Last week, we talked about the most improved Texas high school football offenses in 2022. This week, we're going to talk about defenses. And I actually, if I may editorialize here, I think this one is, obviously, if you have a giant improvement on offense, you should feel really good about yourself. I'm not saying that. This one, I think, is more difficult because to make this list to be one of the most improved defenses in Texas high school football, I think it requires more than just one player. Okay, I think a lot of those other teams, we saw, some of the teams, I should say, that we saw on the most improved offenses list, you can point to, oh, they found a quarterback,
yes,
or oh, that running back had a huge year, or their offensive line put things together and things like that. This, to me, defense is such it takes everybody, and it's so antithetical to having a single individual playmaker,
right,
that I think this is a harder list to crack.
Yeah, and I think a big thing of that is because you look at it like if you have a star linebacker going up against a team's star running back, the chances are pretty good.
Yes.
But if you have a star linebacker on your defense and the other team has a star wide receiver, that makes it a little bit more difficult into needing to have a whole unit.
Yes, most certainly. And also, one thing I think you will find is that this is more directly tied to improved win totals. There were teams on the list last week that were Galveston Ball springs to mind, right? Galveston Ball was one of the where are you? There it is. Galveston Ball did have a nice leap. They went from 5 wins to 10 wins last year based on the strength of the most improved offense in Texas high school football last year. I think there is going to be a sharper line, a sharper connection between an improved defense and an improved win total. Because I do think, the defense wins championships, I think, is overstated because you got to be able to score the ball too. But I do think that this is going to be, you're going to have a closer tie to those. So let's roll out. We'll start with the 11-man ranks and take a look at the most improved Texas high school football defenses in 2022. And maybe that's a bit of a surprise to you.
Yeah.
But the Nocona Indians,
how about that,
are the most improved defense in Texas high school football in 2022. In 2021, they allowed a 48.5 points per game all the way down to 23.1. Now, again, one thing you're going to see here is you're going to see a couple of different types of teams. You're going to see teams whose defense went from very bad to pretty good.
Yeah.
And you're also going to see teams whose defense went from, let's say, on the bad side of average to excellent.
Yes.
There's a couple of those here as well. I think Nocona giving up 48 points a game to go down to 23.1 is pretty shocking, what they were able to do there. Next up is Axtell. The Longhorns improved by 25.1 points per game defensively in Craig Horn's first year there at Axtell. I thought that was a remarkable coaching job there to improve them. And by the way, it's no surprise that they went from 2 wins. Same thing with Nocona. They went from 2-8 to 8-3. Both of them.
Craig Horn likes him some defense.
He certainly does, and I think you saw that play itself out. Also at 25.1, kind of decimal points behind Axtell, is Fort Worth Arlington Heights. And another team that made a huge leap.
This is shocking. Like, this one's massive.
+8 in the win column. They went from 2 wins to 10 wins this past year, and you can see 42 points a game to 16.9. That is going from, again, poor but not like devastatingly poor to actually really good.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you want to say, like, anywhere in the 20s, I feel like is about average. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you'll have a good game and, maybe a bad game every now and then. But, like, you would look at 16.9 points
and
from
say, your
anybody's
is a legit
perspective.
strength.
Yeah, and goes, okay, we're focusing on the like, if I'm going to cover their game sideline, I'm going, okay, their defense is the story here.
Waco University's next, and they what a job they were able to do going from 0-10 to 6-6. Waco U was a huge leap, and a big reason why is that they just got their defense together. They were really bad. Part of it is that they moved districts as well, but they were really poor defensively in 2021. They go to 29 points a game from 53.8 to rank 4th on this list. Cayuga's up next, and that's an example of going from, again, 35 points a game is not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. To go to 10.5 points a game puts you in elite company there. And then you've got a trio of teams next that are all with first-year coaches, all at 24.1 points improvement. Buffalo, with Jamin Savell taking over there, they go from 2-8 to 5-6 with a huge defensive improvement. Sulphur Springs, Coach Brandon Faircloth sparks a 24-point improvement there, 45 points to 21 points. And then Groveton, with their first-year head coach, Matthew Woodard, there at Groveton, goes from, they made a huge improvement defensively to go from 49.7 to 25.7 points. And then, rounding out the top 10, way out west, El Paso Bel Air made a 24-point improvement, going from 46 points a game to 22 points a game. And same with Itasca, another first-year coach, by the way, Ricky Torres, did an outstanding job there as he gets them to a 4-6 record by dropping their points allowed per game by 24 points in a game. I mean, think about that. You're allowing 3+ fewer touchdowns per game. That's shocking.
Well, and what's crazy, even further than that, is that Craig Horn was the former coach at Itasca, right?
Yes.
And now he's at Axtell.
Yeah.
So
I'll just tell you,
wild.
by the way, when you take a look at these teams, those 10 teams that are listed here, right? Those 10 teams that are the 10 most improved defenses, they improved by an average of 5.3 wins from 2021-2022. I don't think that's an accident.
No.
I would need to crunch the numbers on the offense, but they're winning 5 more games on average by making this list. So these are the most improved defenses on the 11-man level. Let's go to the 6-man level now and talk about what they were able to do. And at the top is a familiar name. We talked about them last week, but Zephyr, the Bulldogs, we really just plain and simple have not talked enough about what a job Coach Matthew, I believe it's Coach Phillips. Let me make sure.
They were the most improved
offense as well.
So
they had the most improved offense
and defense.
It's no wonder they went from 0-10 to 9-2. Coach Jeremy Phillips did an unbelievable job with the Bulldogs. They dropped their defensive number by 34.4 points per game. Again, going from 50.9 points per game, which is not good in any stretch. It's a little more manageable at the 6-man ranks, but still not good, to 16.5, which is borderline elite in the 6-man ranks. Medina up next. Medina, the Bobcats were outstanding, dropping at 33.6 points per game. I mean, look at the difference, by the way. Look at the gap between those top two and the third-ranked one.
Yeah,
right?
That's 10 whole points.
That is a shocking improvement there from Medina. 33.6 points per game better in 2022 than they were in 2021. And then you get into some contenders. Cherokee was a team that, Cherokee was the best team on this list in 2021. Cherokee was not bad in 2021. They were 7-4, But if you want to know the difference between pretty good and elite, it's that. Dropping 23, improving in defense 23 plus points per game like they did. Robert Lee is up next, another team that's on kind of in that on that short list of teams that made a huge leap. They were outstanding. Covington comes in next at with 46.9 points per game, 21.7 rather point improvement. Rising Star as well, Knox City, Silverton, Milford, another team that I think had a really kind of an uncharacteristically poor year in 2021, kind of bounced back in 2022. And then Petersburg rounds out the top 10, 19.4 points per game improvement. They were awfully good this past year. Those are the 10 most improved defenses in Texas high school football in 2022, I should say.
How it's like, whoa,
yeah.
I slept a little.
Yeah, let's not go crazy. But yeah, it was a really, those are, again, on the 6-man ranks, those top two with Zephyr and Medina, like, it's no wonder, again, and if you're looking for the improvement on a win perspective, they improved by an average of about 5 wins each. Yeah. Right? You're going from, like, Covington. Covington's a perfect example. Covington went 2-8 in 2021, 6-4 in 2022, based almost exclusively on what was one of the most improved defenses in Texas high school football.
Well, and that's like we always say too. It's not, they don't ask how much, they ask how many, and it's like this. I feel like even furthers the point that it's like the win totals are great, but if you want to talk about like true improvements in a team and not just, oh, they moved into a lighter district or this kind of stuff, it's like, no, they legitimately improved in every facet of the game.
They absolutely did. It was a great year for those defenses. They were able to put together something pretty special. And by the way, Robert Lee was a first-year coach as well. So we're going to actually get into that next week on Math Tuesday when we talk about the most improved or the best first-year coaches in 2022 in Texas high school football. There's a lateral tease to next week on Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.